Hello and welcome. This is Lisa Jones, and you are listening to the Exploring Death podcast. Hello and welcome to the Exploring Death podcast. It's Lisa Jones, your host, and today I have with me Curtis Childs. I met Curtis at the IONS conference, and oh my gosh, this is going to blow your mind what we're going to talk about today, because this is something I had never heard of before, which is called the Swedenborg Foundation, and all of this stuff about this guy named Swedenborg that I had no idea. And I have to say I'm quite proud, because being from Sweden, my original roots, I feel like somehow I have some sort of claim to this whole situation. So let me just tell you that Curtis is interested in improving life by finding new ways to think about it. He is the director of Off the Left Eye, a media project of the nonprofit Swedenborg Foundation that looks to explore and explain a truly comprehensive theory of everything without taking itself too seriously. So welcome, Curtis.
Thank you. I really appreciate getting the chance to talk with you. My grandfather was Swedish as well. So yeah.
Fabulous.
Okay, cool. Maybe somehow I contributed to this in some way, but I really.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sure.
All right. So the first card, which is always the blockage card, is truth. And
Okay.
So what I'm getting is that, in general, like, people don't know the truth. It's like, that's where people are blocked. People think they know the truth, but that's what we're seeking, right? Is the truth.
Yes.
So the second card is the action card, which is light. And I just love this, because actually I feel like the divine message I was given when I went to the other side is, I'm here to shine light on death. And so I feel like that's what I'm doing today, and, talking to people about that. And it's about shining light on the truth. And that's what the foundation is doing. That's what you're doing. And especially with just now with the internet and this amazing way to be able to get out to people, it's how amazing that you can shine more light on this amazing topic, and that people are much more open to it now.
Yeah.
And the ultimate outcome is faith, which, I think that's the other part of it, is that once you're exposed to the truth and you've seen the light, well, then it's just a matter of believing and, going all in. And I know for me, the more I believe, the more miraculous, amazing. I'd love to know if Swedenborg can explain, like, why all these amazing coincidences happens. Like, I'll be talking about my mom, and a red cardinal is always what I see when I think about my mom, and then, and then boom, a red cardinal shows up. So is it just a coincidence? Is it
right?
like, curious.
Okay. So I have a couple of thoughts on those cards.
Yes.
First of all, something that's cool is, you're talking about truth and then light. And I talked about some broad principles in the spiritual world. There's this concept Swedenborg has of what he calls correspondences. And this is essentially how the spiritual side of life and the physical side of life interact. So a correspondence is sort of a representation of spiritual things in physical things. And a great example of that is the correspondence for light is truth. So you think about what light does in the physical world. Right now, we both have light on us, because if we didn't, we wouldn't know what each other were doing or what we looked like or whatever. So the physical world, light lets you see where you're going. It allows plants to photosynthesize. Everything that light does physically, truth does for the spirit.
This has been such a great conversation. And before we start, we both talked about we've got Swedish roots, so we feel like somehow we've got something to do with
I'll take credit
Swedenborg.
For that.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. I'll take credit. Well, so how can people find you? Go ahead, and I'll have all the links below this, but
Sure.
You can go ahead and.
Yeah, we're really centered on YouTube. The Off the Left Eye is this primarily a YouTube channel. So the best way is youtube.com/Off the Left Eye. If you go on YouTube and search Swedenborg, you'll find us very quickly. There's not a huge ecosystem of people making Swedenborg videos, but that's sort of the heart of what we're doing. So I'd say go there, and then there should be links to take you everywhere from there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Curtis. It's been so much fun talking with you, and I'm super excited to dive deeper, and maybe down the road we can have another conversation.
I would love to. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. And be sure to stay tuned as I'm going to be pulling some cards for you up next.